Can you believe they said that? The government keeps making policies that don't change anything for the average man. How long are they going to wait before they take action? He spit from his face and flapped his lips angrily as he went on and on about government and politics and all such nonsense I knew nothing about. But every few sentences or so, he would yell something about a conspiracy and humorously spill his coffee all over the table. Then I'd duck down behind a menu and hide my smile. I knew if he saw it, he'd yell something about me not taking the situation seriously and explain how they were all corrupt. Of course, it was probably true to an extent. I wondered in my mind and reasoned with myself, and after babbling on in the recesses of my mind, I heard the question, "Well, what do you think?" Jerked from my idle thoughts, I answered honestly, "Mark, I haven't the slightest clue what you're talking about." I couldn't help but smile as I said it. "Do you think it's a game, Carswell?" And here it comes. The "you need to take this serious" speech. And you know what? I wasn't going to take it seriously. Do you understand that hardworking citizens are being taxed overly while the rich pay less? It has to be some kind of conspiracy. Well, maybe it's the MSC. He looked confused at my sudden change in expression. What's the MSC? He seemed a bit skeptical, so I couldn't say anything too crazy. It's a government program that was run a few decades ago. It was used to recall some arcade games that allegedly sent people into a daze after playing it. Some say it was just a test for them to use some brainwashing technology they were working on. Maybe they do it to keep the rich quiet. I couldn't bear the urge to laugh, so I retreated back into my fortress of plastic and leather and words to mask my childish prank. Figures the government would do something like that. He snorted and raised his cup to sip his non-existent coffee. "So how's school treating you, college boy? Got a girl yet?" "Right, 'cause I can afford a girlfriend right now." He laughed. "Well, you ain't missing nothing. They'll eat up your time and your money like a dog." "Aw, come on, Mark. They can't be that bad. Maybe your house just grew legs and walked away." "Yeah, with all my money." "Listen, Junior, you're like a son to me. So when you go find yourself a girl, make sure she's a strong, truthful woman, not a little girl looking for some sap." All right, all right. You got it. No stat punters for me." I saw Michael walk out from behind the counter. He was wearing a leather jacket and jeans. "Hey, Mike, where you going?" "Oh, you're still here." "Yeah, well, you don't gotta sound all sad about it." Mark snapped and once again brought his empty cup to his mouth. "Sorry, it's just Ariel took the truck and the tire went out." "Where was she going?" "To get the tires rotated." Mark chortled feverishly. Yeah, it's ironic, I know, but you're not the one who has to go pick her up." "She shouldn't be that far," I said, trying to sympathize somewhat, but my smile still showed. "Yeah, but traffic will be bad this time of day. Can you guys just watch in case any customers come in? Just take care of it until I get back." Mark was the... "All right," I agreed. "My classes aren't till later, but you owe me when you get back." He smiled and nodded and walked out the door. Michael owned the cafe and was a friend of mine I met in my first year. Me and Mark would just kind of kill time here, and sometimes we'd help out when we could. Well, I've got to go. You too? Yeah, some people gotta work, boy. There isn't scholarship for life. I waved goodbye and pulled out my laptop. Might as well get some studying done. After 20 minutes or so, a customer walked in. He was about my age, had dark hair, and wore a coat, which seemed to be too much considering the weather, but it doesn't really matter. I closed my laptop and walked behind the counter. "Good morning, what'll it be?" He didn't order anything fancy, just black coffee and a muffin. You guys hiring?" His voice was shaky and matched his hands. "Not that I know of, but I could get you an application if you want." He nodded. I went to the desk, grabbed an application and a pen. "Here you go," I said. He snatched a pen and paper from my hand and quickly wrote on the back of it, in large letters, "Help me." He drew an arrow pointed behind him, and there were two men in suits getting out of a car. I lowered my head to hide my face. Then in a low, hurried voice, I asked, "What do you want me to do?" "I just need to hide here for a little bit." The two were coming to the door. "Just go sit over there," I whispered and motioned with my eyes to the table where I was sitting. He went and sat down, and I moved to the door. Hey, sorry guys, we're closing. I'm about to ask you to leave. The man held up one hand to his ear. Are you Carl Carswell? Yeah, who are you? We are under the impression you're harboring a C. Where is it? What's a C? Sir, if you withhold information, you put this entire campus at risk. I can't even help you if I don't know what you're talking about. He pulled a piece of paper from his pocket and handed it to me. This is our permit to search the premises. They walked around a cafe and I followed curiously. I was a little concerned. The young man that was sitting by my laptop was gone, and now that I'm looking, so was my laptop. Dang. We made our way to the back room. The desk had been moved and the papers were scattered all over the ground. There was also a faint smacking noise, and it grew louder the closer we got. One of the men opened the door to the break room. His hand was in his pocket, and on the far side of the room was a rather hairy creature slurping leftover noodles. It wore a coat, the same coat, and was watching videos on my laptop. The creature looked up at us and took another slurp of the noodles. See, you're under arrest for attempted escape. I ain't did nothing. A man can't have no noodles. Why y'all always gotta be like that? Y'all stupid looking suits and such. It makes you look fat. Come peacefully. We are authorized to use force. After I finish my noodles, the men stepped forward. All right, chill. I'll put it back. He took one last bite of the noodles and looked up at us. Man, y'all dumb. He smiled and opened the refrigerator, and something like a portal appeared inside it. It swirled blue and yellow when the men drew something from their pockets, but stopped, just stood there perplexed, and then fell. I tried to run. Well, what do you think? Jerked from my idle thoughts, I answered him honestly. Mark, I haven't the slightest idea what you're talking about. I couldn't help but smile as I said it. Do you think this is a game, Carswell? And here it comes. Do you need to take this serious speech? And you know what? I wasn't going to take it seriously. Do you understand that hardworking citizens are being overly taxed while the rich pay less? It has to be some kind of conspiracy. Maybe it's the MSC. I paused. The what? He asked, seeming intrigued. Nothing. Just, never mind. Could it be a conspiracy?